Adillustrator back, and we're going to be reviewing The Wild Robot. So, right off the bat, this film was directed by Chris Sanders. This is the same guy who directed Lilo and Stitch, as well as How to Train Your Dragon, which makes this guy pretty much an animation goat. He's also have writing credits on other films like Mulan and a lot of other classic DreamWorks and Disney films. So he knows what he's doing, and this is kind of a return from for animation after a while, at least directing wise. And I didn't know what to expect from this film. I liked the first trailer. They didn't really give too much of the plot, and that's kind of like how I like to go into things. I don't like to watch too many of the trailers if I can avoid them. Fortunately, that was the only one I saw, so I didn't have very high expectations. I just knew that I was going to like the way this movie looked. It definitely has that kind of feel, very similar to like Puss in Boots animation, where it's a mix of the 3D and the 2D, which makes sense. The Wild Robot being an adaptation of a storybook series, so a kids book series, so that kind of animation really does work, similar to how it did with Puss in Boots. And the environments and animals really do well, like contrast with the robot in this, who's voiced by Lupita Nyong'o, who has the more traditional CGI 3D animation style. And that's another thing. I didn't expect the voice cast to be as stacked as it was. I didn't know who was in this until I watched it and saw the credits. Lupita Nyong'o does an excellent job as Razim, 1374. The robot. Pedro Pascal's and he plays like a kind of wily fox character with like a kind of heart of gold. And there's Mark Hamill's in it. Mark Hamill, just as prolific of a voice actor as he is like a traditional live action actor. If you know some of his voice roles, he always transforms, whether it's as the Joker or Fire Lord Ozai. Once again, didn't recognize him until I found out in the credits. This movie did make me cry. I give it a 10.